Hello again, YouTube. This is Silver Lightsaber. Uh, I've already talked about Batman in a number of videos. If you're a fan of my videos, you obviously know that Batman's my favorite. Most of my tributes and crossovers have to do with Batman. I have a soft spot for him, and I absolutely love The Dark Knight. I think it's could possibly be the definitive Batman film that we'll ever see. That's kind of a bold statement, but it really is that good. I mean, it is an instant masterpiece. I do think that there can be Batman films that can be up to that level, but to have one surpass it, that's kind of hard to fathom, honestly. I think intellectually, the story, the characters, the way it was performed, the direction, the sets, everything about it, the score, was all to a T. That if if Batman film in the future is going to surpass that, it is going to have to try damn hard to surpass The Dark Knight. But that's not why I'm making this film, but I'm glad I said that first, because I have maybe 2 or 3 problems with The Dark Knight. Not big ones, except one. And I wanted to say that first to really drive the point home that I absolutely love this film. But I do have some problems with it, as most fans do, and nothing's perfect. Everyone's going to find problems with anything. And anyone that says that a film is perfect is obviously hasn't seen the film enough times, or is living in a dream world, or doesn't want to admit that their film isn't perfect. Nothing is. You can always find something that's wrong with something. That being said, let me start with the first problem I have with The Dark Knight. The opening scene with the bank heist, I think, is brilliant, but I don't know if it's a continuity error or not, but if this is Nolan's realistic Gotham world, Gotham City, we see Joker just standing on the corner. Before he puts his mask on, we are to assume that he is in Joker makeup and is wearing his war paint. And yet there are people walking across from him completely normally and acting like nothing's out of the ordinary. I don't know about you, but if a man in clown makeup with scars on his face were standing doing nothing, just holding his mask like that, I would turn and look. I would notice something like that. So I think logically that's just a problem I have with it. I mean, on the other side, it's a great way to introduce the Joker for the first time, because in the '89 Batman, they had a very dramatic introduction to the Joker where he's in the dark and he slowly is walking, and you get small glimmers of his face, but you don't really see it until he steps into the light and says that he's the Joker. This one's kind of the same thing, where we see him from his back, then we see him put his mask on and have his clown mask, not talking. We hear him talking 2 lines, and then he takes off his mask and says one of his best lines in the movie, whatever doesn't kill you makes you stranger. But that aside, they established the character and made it clear that that he's important and he's evil to the bone. But that still bothers me when I watch the film. I think it's a cool sequence, but logically it just doesn't make sense to me. A clown is standing on the side of the street. I'm gonna notice that, but I'm spending too much time on that. That's one little problem. Another little problem I have is Batman when he hunts down Sal Maroni. He's in a nightclub. I understand that Batman has to find Sal Maroni, and he just happens to be in a nightclub, so that makes sense. But the thing I love about Batman Begins is that Batman is so mysterious, and that there are a lot of shots where he's dark and brooding and scary. In The Dark Knight, you had some of those shots where he's dark and brooding and scary, but I felt like there weren't as many. But I think that's because in Batman Begins, Batman's established, and they're continuing the story, so I understand that. But that being said, Batman in a nightclub, I don't know what to say to that. Just saying that sounds kind of weird. Batman in a nightclub. I think it would have been a little more intense if Sal Maroni like stepped out for some air or something and had his bodyguards, and Batman ambushes the bodyguards, beats them all to a pulp, and then picks Sal Maroni up. But Batman beating up guys with techno music in the background and not the Batman theme in the background just looks weird. I won't say out of place because it fits in context with the story, but it just doesn't fit. It just looks odd. Well, that's another minor problem. But the biggest... I don't have a problem with this, actually. This is the main reason why I'm making this video, is Batman's voice. There are... There are haters out there that are complaining about the Batman voice in The Dark Knight, and even in Batman Begins. Before I say anything, I just have to say I disagree with all of you. The Batman voice makes sense. Bruce Wayne transforms into a bat. He is Batman, and like that, he has to have a voice that's completely unrecognizable, and just like his persona in Bruce Wayne, he talks differently with kind of almost an accent, kind of an egotistical accent. When he's just Bruce Wayne, he's much more calm, and when he's Batman, he's fierce and scary, and the voice matches that. Some people are saying that the voice is too gravelly. Well, I guess to counteract that, how would you have it, is what I'm saying. In Chris Nolan's world, realistic world, as he likes to say, where you have a man who's so devoted to stopping crime that he literally transforms himself into a bat, obviously his voice is going to have to reflect that. If a guy dressed into a bat suit is going to stop me, I'm going to be scared, but if he's talking to me in that deep, growly, unnatural voice, I'm going to be shitting in my pants. I don't care what anybody says. And anybody else would be scared too. Don't kid yourself. And don't give me the crap that the Michael Keaton voice was better. I'll take a growly, gravelly voice over a calm whisper any day of the week. But I will give you one point, and that people say that the Batman is the scariest when he's not saying anything at all. I do agree with that. And with The Dark Knight, you didn't really have a lot of scenes where Batman wasn't saying much. And just about every scene where he is seen, he's saying something. And in Batman Begins, there are scenes where he's in there and he doesn't say anything, which makes him kind of more scary. But the point is that Bruce Wayne is trying his hardest to make it clear that Batman is completely different from any ordinary guy, and his voice has to reflect that. It's not as simple as putting on glasses and fooling somebody. Wink, wink. But it just logically, in a realistic world, in the Nolan realistic world, you have to do something to camouflage your voice, to make it untraceable, and to fool people. And logically, it makes sense. So, to all the haters out there, just stop with the stupid crap. It's old now. And I don't agree with it. And actually, any voice that is catchy enough to have that many imitators, I have to think is good on some level. Like Marlon Brando's The Godfather, that voice is so iconic that so many people are trying, and I find that it's the voices that everybody makes fun of that they actually like on some degree, like the Tony Montana voice, the Godfather voice. They're weird voices, but when people quote them, they obviously have some respect for the films, otherwise they wouldn't even try an impersonation. So, whether people want to admit it or not when they're making fun of the Batman voice, they must like the film if they're spending time making fun of the voice. Anyway, that's just my opinion. I love the Batman voice. That's all I gotta say. Anyway, tune in next time for more. I take video requests if we have any. So until next time, I'm Silver Lightsaber. Bye.